Welcome to Paint Ed. PCA provides painting contractors with connections they need to grow their business. To find out more and to become a member, visit pcapainted.org. Find more great content just like this on PCA Overdrive. A subscription to the platform is included with membership. For all you non-members out there, sign up for a free trial. PCA Overdrive is available on the App Store and Google Play.
This episode is brought to you by Federated Insurance, 3M, Painter Marketing Pros, and Pittsburgh Paints.
Here is the goal of marketing. As you acquire new customers for your business, give them such a great experience that they not only become a raving fan for you in the meantime to other people that they know, but they eventually become a repeat customer when they need something done. Welcome back to the Elite Business Advice Podcast. My name is Chris Moore, the founder of Elite Business Advisors, your host here for the podcast. Our 2026 Elite Business Retreat, the room block expires today. This episode is coming out on Tuesday, June 30th, and our room block expires for the hotel at 5 p.m. Central Time today. So if you're still on the fence, today's the day. Get your tickets, the room block links at the end of registration to go ahead and book your hotel. Get that solidified. Come join us. We know this is probably one of the last weeks that people are going to be making decisions to plan travel, plan to be away. And don't forget, we schedule the event the way that we do to where worst case scenario, you're gone for 48 hours. Many of you guys can get a flight out late afternoon, Tuesday evening. Get in here and be back home Thursday evening for the main 2 days. If you're going to stay Friday for the VIP, I would recommend that for the half day. We'll be done at 11:30 on Friday morning. But worst case, if it's a getting away, leaving the family, 48 hours, most of you guys in the cities that you live in can make it here in that time frame. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to pause for a second. Pause this episode if you need to. I'm going to do a really awkward 10-second pause, but I want you to think about this question. What is the goal of a new lead? Okay, I'm going to give you a second to think about that. That was a lot more awkward than I even thought it was going to be. What is the goal of a new lead? When you heard that question, what was the first thing that came to mind? Right? What is the goal of a new lead? If you're like most contractors listening to this, your mind probably went somewhere along the lines of, oh, well, a new lead is an opportunity to get a job for our crew, right? But what I want you to really stop and think about a little bit deeper here is what is the compounding, the power of compounding behind this, and how a new lead is actually an opportunity not just to land a job, but to build momentum for your business over time, right? Because for me, the ultimate goal is how do you, pay for a lead, get a new lead, whatever that is, however you're going to get it. How do we get a brand new person that's never heard about elite painting before? But then my job really is to turn that lead into both repeat revenue down the road and also create a raving fan out of them that just becomes another advocate for us and our business here in the community. And so that's what I want you to think through today. That's the exercise we're going to go through. How do we take a lead that we might pay for, but turn it into something much more fruitful from that down the road? So I hope it helps. Thanks for plugging in. This is the Elite Business Advice Podcast. The best businesses that I personally see in terms of manageable growth, profitability, are the ones that have built good, consistent momentum over time with their customer base. Now, I'm not saying that quick growth, large growth, rapid growth is a bad thing. What I am saying is the people that do this a little bit more calm, cool, collected, the ones that do it maybe a little bit more profitably, are the ones that tend to grow 10, 20, even 30% year over year, right? They understand the power of compounding. They understand the law of momentum. And again, if you're growing at a much, much quicker rate, I know some people that are, doubling year over year over year, at least to a certain point. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. But I would still encourage you to think through what we're talking about here today to understand how do we take the leads that we're essentially buying and turn them into something much greater that allows us to build some momentum on our side. Okay. The businesses, again, that I see that, I don't want to call them the most successful ones because that's not fair to, other ones that aren't growing in this manner. But the ones that I see, again, that are manageable and profitable, they bring in a healthy dose of new customers kind of into their ecosystem. They generate new relationships with people that can provide referrals and stuff. And then they sow into that existing community to build their revenue. And again, there's some strategy behind it. Sometimes this gets done accidentally. But the power of compounding of this year over year over year over year over year is where success can breed itself and happen. Okay, let's just do some quick math. I'm going to throw some numbers out here because it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't think about numbers. But I want to think about some math. Okay, let's just say you have the industry benchmark average job size $5,000. Okay, more so because that's really easy math for me. Okay, and let's say in 2023, I'm going to try to do this in a way that you don't need the visual behind this to kind of bring this home. In 2023, you had 200 people in your happy, satisfied customer database, right? You've been in business for 3 to 5 years, whatever it's been. But either way, you have 200 people that are in your happy, satisfied customer database, okay? And I'm going to just put some numbers out there. This was just some real good, educated guessing that I was kind of thinking through as I was putting this together. Okay? Let's say that 20% of those people need a project done this year. Okay? So out of the 200 people, 20% of them need a project done. So you're maybe going to get about 40 customers that will need something done out of that existing database. And let's say that you get another 20% of those 200 that refer you to just one person. Okay, again, we're just going to go law of averages here, right? One person might refer you to 3. I understand that. But let's just say that. So you got 40 repeat jobs, 40 referrals coming in. That's 80 projects. And at a $5,000 average job size, that's $400K in organic revenue. And let's say you go out and you bring in 100 new projects as well. And that's $500,000 in revenue from your marketing efforts. Okay. So now we've got $900K. That's what we did in 2023. Well, out of that 100 new projects, let's just say 75% of them go into your happy, satisfied customer base, right? What the other 25%, few of them are going to see their way out. You're gonna label them as like never contact again. Don't answer the phone, right? They might be in your phone as don't call. You might have 20 people listed in your phone as don't answer, right? Let's just say 75% of people go into that happy, satisfied customer base. Okay, so now you're at 275 heading into 2024. And let's just keep going with the same averages and numbers here that 20% of that database needs a project done as a repeat customer. 20% is going to, refer us to one person. So now your database is at 275. So that means you actually got 110 projects at 5,000 each. And that's $550,000 in organic revenue, right? So just by, turning 20% of those 100 into repeat customers, 20% of them into a referral source, we added $150,000 in organic revenue that we don't pay for, okay? And then let's say you add another 100 new projects in your marketing efforts, right? Again, same benchmarks, 500K. You guys did just over $1 million in 2024. And so you can already see it starting to slowly grow. Now, I would make the argument there's things we can do to help try to increase the repeat business, to try to increase the referral likelihood. I'm going to share some of those tips here towards the end to maybe get that number up, right? We have levers that we can control. It's not 100% passive. I'm just kind of going with some benchmarks here. All right, 2025 comes. All right, so in 24, you did 100 new projects. Again, let's just say 75% go into the database. Now your database is at 350. 2 years ago, it was at 200. So in 2 years, 2 seasons, your database has grown 350 new people. And actually, I just realized something here. Technically, all those referrals as well would get added in here. I didn't even count those in. I knew I was missing something somewhere. So my numbers are already off here. So understand that this is actually even better than what I'm saying. Because if you got 40 projects from referrals, those 40 are going in on top of the 100. So I really, really just messed this whole thing up. I apologize. But this is, again, worst case scenario. All right. So now you're at 350. Again, arguably we just discovered Chris can't do math. You're closer to 400 at this point, but I'm going to keep going with my analogies here. 75% of your new customers go in there, so you're at 350. 20% referral, 20% repeat. Now you're at 140 projects organically, which is $700K in revenue. Now you're shifting to more organic versus dependent upon marketing dollars, right? You're 23, 400,000 organic, 500,000 marketing. 24, split 50-50. 25, now you're 700K organic, 500K new marketing. Okay. Heading into 2026, your database is up to 425 people. Again, probably 475 with my error of math on those referrals. And then that puts you at 170 projects organically, which is 850,000, another 500K in new marketing dollars. So you kind of understand the point where I'm going with here is like at some point that's going to shift and you're going to start leaning to where you're more organic. And again, if this is a good rate of growth for you and the goals you want, then fantastic, right? I understand that can change. If you want to grow quicker, you want to get to 3 million quicker, whatever that is, I understand there's variables here, but I want you to understand the power of compounding. And even more so, if I would have done the numbers right, you would have really seen that amplify up. But it's not worth re-recording this for, if I'm being honest. You get the point I'm illustrating with the numbers, okay? So here's how I look at this. Here is the goal of marketing. Is you acquire new customers for your business, give them such a great experience that they not only become a raving fan for you in the meantime to other people that they know, but they eventually become a repeat customer when they need something done. That is truthfully the goal. With all of those referrals that I forgot to factor in, with all of the 100 new people that are coming in to your, a new customer list this year, just give them a great experience. Give them an experience to where they like you, they want to refer you, and if you continue to do that, you're just going to continue to build momentum, which means free marketing. Okay, that's the whole thing. Paid marketing, free marketing, right? Again, I'm not trying to be a tightwad. We need to invest. There's a difference between investment and expense, but when I can get the same amount of revenue and hit my goal without spending money on marketing, I'm a happier person because I have a more profit in the bank, right? So how do we transition them throughout? If you can do it, it's going to pace your company well organically. Maybe you're going to get to a spot, in this illustration, that you're just like, you're happy being at 1.5 to, 1.7 million, and you're happy with that. Well, guess what? Is the next couple years go on, that organic pace will sustain what you need to do, and you can probably start scaling back the marketing efforts a little bit. Okay. And so I want you guys to understand the power of not just viewing leads as new customers, but viewing them as future revenue and making sure that we're doing the things in the meantime to let it translate to future revenue, right? It all starts with the initial experience. I'm not even going to talk too much about that in this episode because you have to give them a great experience. Your sales process, everything on the front end, the back end, the production team, the process they deal with, the project managers, like everything needs to be very well on point. And so in doing that, like I always said that the best compliment I ever got was when people would refer me to somebody else just from after they booked a job from us. We hadn't produced it. We were still 4 weeks out in our schedule, and they were already referring us to their friends, their family, their neighbor, because they had had such a great experience on the front side of, our company that they knew the back end would probably follow suit, right? And there's nothing greater than that. So how do we do that? Okay. Again, sales experience, professionalism, communication, showing up on time, who you're sending, are they connecting with people? Like there's so many things that go into that. Again, making sure your crew is clean, they're organized, they're efficient, they're polite, they're courteous. Like they obviously do a great job, but again, we all know that quality is slightly less important than all the other things about the experience in most homeowners' eyes, right? As long as you're not just sloppily doing a terrible job. That's got to be the focus. Now, how do we focus in on, getting more repeat business out of our database? How do we focus in on more referrals? I'm going to just run through kind of a list here in these last few minutes with you guys of some things. We've talked about some of this on the show before. If you're a longtime listener, if it's your first episode, welcome. I hope this is hitting home for you. But a couple things we can do. Number one, monthly value add email. I know we've done a couple episodes dedicated to this over the years. Monthly value add email. We want to make sure that, once a month you're sending an email out to this database that it's a value add to them as a homeowner in your market, as a, citizen in your community. Hey, here's what's going on. One that a lot of people have success with is like right after Thanksgiving, they send one out that's like, hey, here's the top 5 to 7 things to do with your friends and family this holiday season, right? It's the light shows to see. It's the, zoo experience that you have at your city. It's the, outdoor skating rink that comes up. So it's just a great thing for anybody that maybe has recently moved here or honestly has lived there their whole lives and forget about these things, right? Whenever I see a list like that, I've lived in, within a 10-minute radius my entire life. It's nice to just be remembered. Oh man, I forget about that, or new things that come up, right? So it's like little things. And again, those value add things build that like a lasting relationship. It's not a company newsletter. It's not salesy, although I recommend 80-90%. Let it be something value add to the homeowner, to the customer, 10 to 20% about your business. Okay. So think about homeowner tips based on seasonalities. Think about things in the community. Think about things that they're dealing with in that season, right? I think sometimes in January, a few of our customers have sent them out that have said like, hey, here's, the top family vacation spots, both like within a 4-hour drive, but also like across the country, right? And again, with AI, that makes it pretty easy to do these things nowadays. Customer appreciation can be great, right? How do we love on those previous customers? How do we show them, our appreciation for their referrals and repeat business and stuff? Just doing little things, whether it's dropping something off at their house if you're in the neighborhood, whether it's, maybe doing something. We've had some customers before that have done like partnered with a local car wash and then send it, hey, if we buy 100 car washes, will you give us 30% off of them, 50% off something, right? It's like the automated car wash, right? You don't have your painters out there washing the cars, and you just you got to market it well to your people. But hey, this Saturday morning between 8 and 12, stop by Sparkle Car Wash, get a free car wash on us. You set up a table, have a nice little tablecloth with your Elite Painting logo on it. Right there at the entrance, they come by, they grab their little coupon, they scan it, they go through, get their car wash, move on with their day, right? Like little things like that. It's not, hey, we're going to rent out a restaurant or a bar and, throw this big customer appreciation, like networking type thing. Sometimes it's just little things like that you can do that's quick, easy, on the go, right? People are busy. We're all back to running at 110% capacity like we were in 2019. And so sometimes those quick, easy things can be really good. You do the same thing like, hey, we're at this donut shop, this bakery, right? Stop by Saturday morning, bring the family, get a donut on us or something, right? So it doesn't have to be anything monumental. It just can be little things. Again, it's all about marketing, follow through, reminding people about it. Another couple things, gifting for referrals. People refer jobs to you, just have a way to say thank you. That's a great thing. We talked before, we did an episode sometime within the last year about book a job from a job. We called it our advocate discount whenever I had my painting company. But basically, it was just something that we did to help incentivize customers to take action. At the end of each job, we'd wrap up and they would, post something on their Facebook, tag us in it. We'd knock some money off the final invoice that day. If they posted in the next door community as well. And then at the time we would, also incentivize for Google reviews as well. If they did all three things, we'd knock $75 off. It was $25 for each thing. So, again, just an easy way, because I knew that every time somebody just out of the goodness of their heart posted on their social media about us, their experience, we'd always get one or two more jobs from it. So I was like, how do I incentivize this behavior now, right? And so we kind of came up with that. We had it nice, put together, branded on a sheet that our crew lead would give them, and they did that kind of walkthrough before they paid their final invoice, while the crew was cleaning up and packing up and stuff. So that was a great way to kind of, hey, we got one job here. Let's try to book one or two more jobs from this job and kind of just keep the chain going down the road. A couple of things you could do. Special like loyalty discounts. People always love to feel special and appreciated. So, if it's something as you're heading into your exterior season, I know we're in the thick of it right now, but like in February, you could say like, hey, for all of our previous customers, we want you guys to have first priority for any projects that need done. Maybe you put a discount in there, maybe you don't need to, whatever, just depends on, your business, where you're at. But we want all of our previous customers, we appreciate loyalty, and we want you guys to have first dibs on our schedule for when, exterior season opens up. You could do the same thing for holidays, right? September, you could blast something out, so this be a little more actionable for you right now. You could say, hey, we're booking up for October, November. If you're wanting to get anything done, we want to, honor our previous customers and loyalty and give you first dibs in our schedule for anything you're looking to have done, right? It just makes people feel special. Obviously, yeah, it's a little bit of a sense of urgency. It's a little bit strategy to try to, get some jobs booked on your end, but people feel special in the meantime. It's a win-win for everybody. So, one thing you could do too, you could do custom mailer to your previous, database of people, right? To the physical postcard to their house. You could have, something listed with it. It could be something, again, tied in with these, loyalty type things we talked about. It could be, hey, refer somebody to us in the next 30 days. We'll give you $100. There's a lot of different things you could do with this, but, it would be something else. Again, when you have the database, you can find creative ways to use it and cool things to do. One other thing too that I think you could also do is how do you kind of partner, have an offering with like other services. So maybe this ties in with that custom mailer. Maybe it's, a cleaning company. Maybe it's a couple businesses you guys kind of lock arms together with, and help do some cross promotion with things. And it's just like, hey, here's a list of a few, reputable services that we've vetted ourselves that, we trust. If you need this, you need this, do it. Right. Again, partner with a local ice cream shop for a $5 off, coupon, and you could send that out, in the mail to them too, right? Like there's so many different things you could do. You could even tie a couple of those things together we just talked about. But again, sometimes it's just a little creative outside the box thinking, but think about like what's meaningful to people, right? Is we're thinking about the emails and all the different things, like what is going to be meaningful to somebody to give something to them without asking really in return, but kind of subtly asking in return, for a referral in business, right? It's that we need to stay top of mind with people, and that's what building this community around you and your database, and then how do we leverage that? But we need to stay top of mind is a huge thing. That's why that monthly value add email is, a great foundational tool to that, is just stay top of mind with them. But then how can we do other things to help try to spark action with referrals, with repeat business, and just give back, right? I would much rather personally put a marketing budget into, the people that we have, versus, going out just to find new ones, right? Again, there's a good, healthy balance there. It's a conversation that we're having here with some stuff at EBA too. Like, how do we put that, back into our people and do things like that versus, cold leads and whatever else. So here's what I would suggest. Build the community, figure out a way to incentivize the community to take action, be creative with it, be fun, but it all starts with the customer experience up front to make them care about why this is important. Thanks for plugging into this week's episode. I hope you're able to take a few nuggets away from it to implement into your business. Remember, knowledge without implementation is useless. If you're curious about what we do and how we help painting contractors all over North America, schedule a free business analysis meeting with us at www.elitebusinessadvisors.com. Our entire team of advisors have ran and managed painting companies just like myself and are here to help support you on your journey. We have packages available for contractors at every stage of business, from flying solo and just starting out, all the way to multi-million-dollar businesses. And lastly, if you loved this episode, please leave us a rating and a review. It helps others on the platform find our podcast, and it could be the best blessing that's ever happened to them thanks to you. Thanks for plugging in, and we'll see you back for next week's episode.
Paint Ed podcasts are produced by the Painting Contractors Association and are made possible by members and industry partners. To find out more about the upcoming educational opportunities or for more information about joining the PCA, visit pcapainted.org.